Welcome to another Guide You Outdoors video. So today we're hitting the long trail for a shakedown hike before the 100-mile wilderness. We want to work out the kinks of the new gear. Someone's got a new backpack, I've got a new backpack. Got to test these things out, see if we forgot anything, if there's extra stuff we're not using that we should get rid of, and make sure everything is comfortable. So last night we both got out of work at around 5. We loaded up the zip haul bag here with some food and gear. We did some car camping at this trailhead, and we're gonna head up and test out our gear. Make sure everything's good before we hit the 100-mile wilderness and there's no turning back. So come along. We've reached the intersection of the lawn trail and we're at a shelter here. We've gone 3.2 miles, and the last mile, I say, would be a 45-degree angle. Those uphills, there's nothing that can really prepare you for them other than doing them. I met a guy in the Shenandoahs, which is not a very steep section of the Appalachian Trail, but he rolled in the camp, didn't say a word, put his bag down, and then collapsed into his hands for a good half hour. I was keeping him in my peripheral just because I was like, man, I'm gonna have to give this guy CPR any second, like he's gonna collapse. He started coming back to and started talking and told me he was just dying with this uphill, and it was just a gradual small uphill that he was climbing, but it was a long period of time he was doing it. And he said he walked the reservoir in his town, and when he got to the corners, he'd go up and down that 10-foot section. Well, guess what? That wasn't enough for 3 miles of a continuous uphill. So that's why we do these shakedowns, because nothing can really prepare you other than getting out with all your gear and doing it. Hey, Andrea. What did you think of that section? Been a lot of up and down over. This is our 4th mountain we're going up and over. And we got winter legs. So we're having some struggling moments. As with all hiking. Ups and downs, right? Ups and downs. So I brought 3 stoves with me that are all made by Tinny at Mini Bull Designs. Check out his YouTube channel. This is the Trek 2 that I thru-hiked the AT with and brought to New Zealand. So here are 2 new stoves by Tinny, so let's light them all up. I think this is the new one we're gonna bring, but I wanna, that's the point of a shakedown. See what I think about it when it burns. So they're all alcohol stoves. Looked like a Bud Light in there with a Starbucks can. This one he painted. This is a wick stove, and it's pretty sturdy, probably the sturdiest of the 3. You take the top off, and then with these little air channels, you can adjust the height of the wick by moving it up and down. This one you need a pot stand for, so let's fire up these 2 and check them out. Just gonna put about an ounce of fuel in there, and then some in the primer tray. And then you put the pot directly on top. This one has a titanium screw, and you just fill this. I'm not gonna put tons in, just because I don't want that to burn forever, whereas I'm cooking with this one. And we put the thumb screw back on, which pressurizes our stove. And then the wick one, you just dump fuel right in here. There's carbon felt in here, and that'll absorb it. So you gotta prime This one, we'll just hit the rock with some fuel. There we go. 1, 2. This is burning heat, H-E-E-T. It's a yellow bottle of anti-freeze for your gas tank. And it burns so hot you can't see it. So once we put this on top, I'll start coming out the jets. We're getting some wind. We'll add our windscreen. You can kind of see that one. But we'll fire these back up when it gets dark and check them out again. I add my Z-Light to this chair, make it extra cushy. The shakedown is all about finding what gear works for you and what gear you're not using. I met one section hiker in Vermont. He came in late to camp and we woke up and we saw a big tent. We thought it was a bunch of people, and then out crawls this one guy in a 4-person tent, and he started chatting with us and he said, you know, I brought a slingshot, I brought a harmonica, 2 books, and all I do is hike. And yeah, when you're not hiking, you're either resting or eating. He thought he was gonna have a lot of downtime at camp, but turns out with all these ups and downs, all he's doing is hiking. And then on the other hand, there was a guy in the 100-mile wilderness I met, and he thought he was pretty big stuff because he had hiked all the 4,000 peaks in the Adirondacks, but never consecutively spent so much time on the trail. So all he brought was an emergency bivvy for the night, like no insulation, and he had picked up a blue camping tarp from under one shelter, so he was wrapped in the emergency bivvy, then the blue tarp, and then I had another emergency blanket, which I was not using, so I gave him that. And he kept the whole shelter up all night, just rolling around in this loud 3-tarp setup. And he said, I'm just gonna layer up. And I said, all right, where are your layers? He said, I'm wearing them. And all he had was a micro fleece and shorts. He ended up quitting en Matson. So, you know, get out there, see what gear you're not using, see what gear you need. Because once you start and hit the trail, nothing really you can do. You're stuck. Oh, it smells good. So a couple other new pieces of gear that I'm excited about. We each picked up a GSI cup and Alpha Light. I got the long-handed spoon. If we ever have those like bag meals, this is nice to clean out. It's also good for stirring. And then Andrea's got a spork. So each one of these things, $8.95. The Alpha Light comes with a nice little Alpha Light carabiner, so you can cook them, don't lose them. The cup is 2 ounces. This is 0.3 ounces. Spork is 0.2 ounces. Picked up, I love this size pot. Silicone, so you can grab it. It's not too hot. This size works great for alcohol stoves, and this costs $69.95. It's titanium Evernew. It's their ultralight. There's no coating on it. I like the no coating because you can put it in the fire. This is a 1.3 liter pot at 4.6 ounces. All right, and then we need the mashed potatoes. All right, dinner time. Hot.
Pretty good.
Need some hot sauce. Hot sauce, put it on the list. There's no better way to fall asleep than rain on a tin roof. Unfortunately, We just woke up and it started raining now. So one drawback about this little mug is I can't even put it to my lips, it's so hot. That's too hot. But I was able to get one sip out, and instant coffee tastes like garbage. How'd you sleep?
No, sorry.
No?
Sorry.
Another thing is that alcohol stoves have worked so well for me, but I've always been solo. Now with 2 people, water, it's not working so well. So we might have to go back to a canister stove. And this is why we shake down. So a pretty cold night last night. We learned some things. Andrea's bag is
Not warm enough.
Not rated at 20 degrees or has been packed down over the years. And she doesn't like the foam pad. So she's always used a Thermarest inflatable mattress, but was trying foam because she's sick of patching her Thermarest. Not working for her, so I'm gonna swap that out. You know, it's about finding what works for you. I swear by foam pads, but I love just taking my foam pad, throwing it on the ground, fanning the fire with it, having it on the outside of my pack and not worrying about it. And then another thing, she discovered her pillow is inferior to mine. This is the Sea to Summit Eros Premium Regular at 2.8 ounces, curved here for your neck. And I'm still adding my rain jacket to give it a little more, but it's got a beautiful, you can let air out by just pushing a little there if you blow it up too much, or you can just open the second valve and roll it flat, and maybe 2 or 3 breaths you can get it fully pumped up. Put in that first valve. There you go, and then it doesn't deflate when you take your mouth off because of that in-only valve. So there we go. It's got a nice soft coating on both sides. So basically we're changing out Andrea's entire sleep system. Here's great practice for the 100-mile wilderness.
Yeah? Is what it's like?
I'd say more muddy, but yeah, somewhat. Look at this thing. Why is this in the middle of the woods? Oh my God! What is this, Summit? Oh, that is a heavy contraption. Tisco. It's a big gear in the middle of the woods, which is crazy. This looks like, you know, like how the heck did this get here? Well, all this land was clear cut and farmland not too long ago. Good job!
Swim hole spot, no?
Yeah, wanna go swimming?
No.
Nah, get it wet. That'll be a good trial. Yeah, go. Go swimming.
That's a good boy.
You never really know how waterproof your boot is until you get a little test. Oh, water instantly on the right. Left one's good. Ooh, okay, wet sock. Left foot's good. Let's check these out. Oh yeah, some stitching popped right there. And let water right in. That's no good. We're gonna have to fix that before we leave. All right, cheers. We made it.
Woo!
We're back at the car, a little muddier, a little stinkier, a little more tired, but we learned a lot of important information. So as Andrea goes and turns that dog, hopefully, just want to say thanks for watching and join us for the 100 Mile Wilderness. And remember, do a shakedown before you go on any major adventure. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button and subscribe.
I love this thing.